We are Nicki and Carlo, and our family live in Positano, Italy, nearly 500 steps from the road, but surrounded by fruit and olive trees and with a fabulous view. Our garden overlooks the sea and we grow our own food. We show you what life is really like on the Amalfi coast. So please subscribe and welcome to the Positano Diaries.
Ci avventuriamo nel bosco come questi ragazzi.
Sì.
Dai, fammi strada.
We're going to do something different today rather than a day at the beach, which we still haven't actually had. We're going to go to the woods. We're in Monte Faitto, which is where we come when there's snow here. So last time we came here and showed you, there was snow. And I've never been here in summer before. It's all leafy and green. There is a couple behind Carlo that are having a picnic, but it's fantastic. They must be in their 50s, 60s. They've got a barbecue, they've got a tablecloth, they've got bags of food, there's wine on the table. They've just got this whole setup there. And Carlo really wants to go over and film it, but we don't know them. Okay, now we're going to very subtly just go and get Carlo out of the way and show you.
Ragazzi, la vita a Positano non è solo mare, barche e tanta gente. Sono appena passati questo gruppo di ragazzini, ma adesso siamo tornati da soli, solo io e Nicki. Vabbè, voglio dire, siamo belli.
A picnic. I said we had to do a picnic. Look, they've got everything. They've got tablecloths and tables and chairs.
Oops. Buongiorno. Indi. Ah, sì, allora si chiama uguale.
Ready, go! I've got the hang of bringing it back yet.
Quindi lo devi prendere però. Ancora non ha capito il gioco com'è. I think this walk is very romantic.
It is very romantic. Without the Boy Scouts. So we've been here before and I've explained this before, but I will do it again. Behind me there is a snow hole, and in the olden days, before freezers and fridges and electricity, they would store snow here in this big hole, and then it would be shipped down to the towns for the ice trade. This is surrounded by 4 giant beech trees, which are very huge. This one in particular is my favourite because you can get in it.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Oh, Indy Boo. As we were driving up here, we saw all these incredible hydrangea bushes, which at our house they've pretty much finished already, but here it's obviously a bit cooler, so they're out for longer, and I've just got out the car to have a closer look. And there's hydrangea bushes everywhere.
Time for lunch.
Krista.
Hai fame? Vuoi mangiare?
Yes, let's go eat.
Allora-
We've come to the Belvedere Point, which we have shown many times before. And there's a little... Siamo andando là?
Sì?
Yeah, there's a little restaurant that looks like we're in Switzerland now. Gira.
Okay.
Little Swiss chalet type
Yeah.
thing here. And we've never been there before. So
Hai ragione, non ci avevo mai pensato. Sembra davvero un altro mondo qua, 1000 anni luci lontano da Positano, dalla folla, dalle barche, anche dal rumore. Oh, proprio bello qua, anche fresco, no?
Sì.
Vedrò meglio questo. Yummy.
That is huge.
Sì.
I've never come here in summer, so it's fascinating to see how different it is. So green.
Ciao, sono Leni. Io sono Rosi. Oggi stiamo facendo vacanze in Austria e vi facciamo vedere il mondo in miniatura. Abbiamo fatto il giro di tutto il mondo in 80 minuti. Guardate quanti posti ci sono! Oggi provo sci d'acqua.
Und dann vorn. Gestreckt, Hände gestreckt, Hände gestreckt, Hände gestreckt, Hände gestreckt, Hände gestreckt. Ja! Bravissimo! Hände nach vorne gestreckt. Ja! Nein, Hände gestreckt. Ja! Deine Schwester ist super. Jawohl. Loslassen. Ja! Rosi! Rosi wird getragen.
Nicht treten, stehen bleiben. Danke, das Mädchen. Vorder ist ja noch cooler. Ja, du musst nach vorne, ist ja noch geiler. Da unter der
Right. Need to pick some beans for lunch. And I thought I would tell you about the heat and how we're coping, because a lot of people have been asking. So if you didn't know, in Europe, well, in a lot of Europe, it's been very, very hot this summer. It's been on average about 37 degrees every day for over a month now. And we don't have air conditioning here at home. Some people do, we don't. In Italy, in general, the houses are built very, very thick walls, and that keeps them cool in the summer and warm in the winter. But at the moment, our house is about 26 degrees inside the house, which is pretty warm, I've got to say. It's not very fresh in there, but it's doable. I mean, we've got fans that stir the air and mix it around and blow cool air into us. And yeah, you just get on with it. But I've got to say, I'm dreaming of the lovely coolness of England at the moment. Even though they have just had a heat wave, I love the idea of going there for August. I'm thinking about it. The only thing that puts me off is the fact that the flights have been a complete nightmare anywhere, and I don't particularly want to do that. And I'm wondering about driving. So it's something that I'm mulling over at the moment. I'm picking a load of beans. I'm just going to do a simple Niçoise salad, I think, for lunch today. I think one of the saddest things about the heat is for the dogs is that they can't really go out for walks. We're very, very limited. I mean, one, we're limited anyway because of the mountain we live on. So we haven't got many choices of places that we can walk here without climbing a mountain. I mean, you pretty much have to climb a mountain to go out and do the walk, but that's another story. But time-wise, I mean, it's either out very early in the morning, like before 8 o'clock in the morning, or after 7 in the evening, and then it's dark now by about 8. So we really don't have a huge, I mean, of course the dogs can walk in the dark, I know that. But it's just limiting as to what we can do with them. And I feel a bit sorry for them. I mean, it's not just my dogs, obviously, it's all dogs in Europe. It is that time of year again. We are starting to prepare for the tomato preserving sessions. Luca's already done a few actually. It's got all the jars from last year that are empty, ready, washed and ready to go. And these tomatoes are ripening here on the table. Above we've got all the onions that we picked last week. If I was to go to England at some point in August, there's various conditions that I've set myself. One, I have to take Indy, which means she needs a pet passport, which I haven't got around to doing yet. She has had her rabies vaccine, which is very important because you can't get a pet passport without a rabies vaccine. You actually have to wait 3 weeks from the day of the vaccine before you can apply for a passport. And 3 weeks have passed now, so I could feasibly go and get her a passport. I'm going to see if I can get that done tomorrow, just so I've got it, just so I'm ready. Now, if you can remember back in September, I think it was, I had to drive to Tuscany to go and stay with my friend Leni, and I was a little bit scared of the 6.5 hour drive to Lucca all by myself. I'd never done it before. Even though when I was 21, I drove between Rome and Positano by myself every 5 days. It seems like I'm now getting scaredy cat in my old age. But yeah, I've driven to England many, many times with lots of different people, but I've never done it alone. And that's always bugged me a bit. I've always wanted to do it alone. I want to be that brave woman who goes traveling by herself or with her dog and drives around Europe. So I'm quite inspired to do it, just to force myself to do something that scares me, which I think is good for all of us. And I take Indy with me mainly for the fact that Holly's been a load of times, and I think, to be honest with you, Holly's actually happier off here, and Carlo would miss her so much. He's much more attached to Holly than he is to Indy, and it's easier if we both had one dog each. So I would take Indy with me, which terrifies me. I have no idea how she'd be. I mean, she's much better in the car than Holly is. So it's quite an exciting thing to plan. I think I'm going to go ahead and plan it, even though I might not end up doing it. Who knows? But I love planning things like this. I find it really exciting. It's like there's endless different routes I could take all around France. Do I go camping? Well, actually one of my ideas was that I was going to go and camp my way back home. But I've looked into it, and it seems like a lot of the campsites have minimum 3 nights stay, and I don't want to take that long to get to England. So that's out of the question. Something I'm considering.
You can leave me your suggestions in the comments below if anybody's got ideas of where I should go and which route I could take. Why don't we all plan it together? That would be fun. I presume going this way round, I'd be going the opposite direction from all the summer crowds, because I think the summer crowds coming from the UK to Europe for their summer holidays, and I'd be going in the opposite direction, escaping from the summer holidays, and then coming back when they go. Sky has just phoned and she's out with Carla. They're just doing a few errands around town, and they've decided to stop off at the fishmongers and they're buying clams. So what I'm now cooking will have to be for tonight, if anybody's in tonight or tomorrow. So I'm just gonna keep cooking the potatoes and the beans, that's fine, and then they can go in the fridge and wait. But I think we're going to have spaghetti and clams for lunch. It has just gone 7:30 in the morning and I'm on my way to Maiori to go and get Indy's pet passport. Luckily I don't need to take her with me, which means I can go by scooter. So I thought we would drive along. To get to Maiori, basically I have to go through Praiano, Conca dei Marini, Amalfi, Minori and Maiori. And I thought we'd stop along the way and look over the railings at some of the views down below. This little point on the road is one of the best points to look over down at Positano. We're in between Lipalati, so we've got one part of it there, and then the other part of it is just behind me here. This is the view. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no other reason you would come to this area and look all the way down there. And you can pretty much get a 360-degree view of the town from here. Obviously this early in the morning the lighting is not great, but we'll take what we've got. So I'm just going to stop at every little town and show you the viewpoints from the road along the way. This is the Lipalati bus stop and taxi pickup, and across the road from here we've got the perfect view of the pyramid. Next on our stop is La Playa, and I'm going to pull over just at the corner of that little bridge over there. There's just a tiny space enough for a scooter to pull over. And here you can see all the way down to the tiny little beach, the restaurants and the cliff walk that stretches all the way around to the Africana nightclub. Next, the Fiore Furore. Sometimes it's a bit of a nightmare to park here, but as you can see it's early morning and it's completely empty. Let's go. So we are on a bridge here, so you can look over both sides. Now one side, which is the seaside, they have an open diving competition here every summer. It should be happening around about now, I should think. There's no way I would throw myself off this bridge. Very carefully make your way over to the other side and you've got the old little fishing hamlet down there. Very quiet at the moment. This will get extremely busy later on in the day. The beach will be full. My next viewpoint is on the opposite side of the bay where the Emerald Grotto is, and we're going to stop just past that funny little long thin house jutting out of the mountain. This one is just a pretty wild natural view, especially amazing when the sea is slightly rough. It becomes very dramatic here. And just around the corner from there, there's this old Saracen tower jutting out here, and there's a beach club down there. Now, if you're looking for a beach club with a swimming pool, this might be one to consider. They have a little shuttle service that takes you all the way down there. I know it's a saltwater pool, never actually been myself. Capo di Conca, that's what it's called. Has parking as well apparently. And you can just go there and they will take you down. Just a couple of 100 metres after the Capo di Conca there is Conca dei Marini. Now you sort of need to know where to stop for this. There's this railing here
It's pretty nondescript, there's no sign or anything. But coming up to this big corner where you can sort of see all the way along the coast, you just need to walk over to the railing and peer over the edge, round about here. It would help if your battery didn't run out halfway through filming. And that used to be Sophia Loren's house. It's obviously owned by somebody quite well off because it usually has a helicopter parked outside, just over the other side. I've just driven around the corner from the railing. I'm on a bit of a hairpin bend and there's this big rock sticking out right here. But from next to the rock you can see a different angle of Conca, which is one of my favourites. Look at the colour of the sea, that's so beautiful. The gas bar is at the first crossroads that you come to on the coast road, has the best mini pizzas and the best croissants in the morning, and then the view here goes all the way down to Santa Croce Beach. Just a bit further on from there you've got a great view of Amalfi all the way along the road, but the sun is in the wrong direction, so we're going to go and take a look at the town from the other side of Amalfi. So I've just driven through Amalfi and stopped on the corner, and the colours are all much brighter with the sun shining on them. Atrani is beautiful no matter what direction you look at it from. And we're just past the tunnel, looking over the railings. And we've arrived in Minori. The road here is actually down at sea level, so we're right down at the bottom now. And there's also a little market going on today, something that we do not have in Positano. How I would love to be able to buy my fruit and vegetables in a market. There's a lovely beach club here with a pool and jacuzzis. Look at that. Turning the corner from there and we are immediately right outside Maiori with its lovely little harbour, amphitheatre and then big long promenade. I have arrived where I need to go. Now I need to get into this building and find the head vet for the region and hope that he gives me a passport for Indy.
Sì.
Got it. Anyhow, I'm going to drive back now, pick up Carlo along the way and then go home for the afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed this little trip along the coast with me.
Siamo qua sul pezzetto di spiaggia riservato ai positanesi.
This is a little piece of beach with sun loungers, umbrellas, shower facilities, but it's only for residents of Positano and it's free. So you won't get any tourists in the little section, everybody knows everybody. It's usually the same people who come here, usually mums and kids, and they can spend the day at the beach without spending a fortune. Wonderful. A lot of people have been asking me about the new rule in Sorrento, which has been twisted as usual in the English media, and everybody's asking, is it true that in Sorrento you can't wear bikinis anymore? Well, not quite. In Sorrento they've brought in a rule that once you leave the beach area you have to cover up. So you can wear your bikinis on the beach, you can wear your budgie smugglers, your speedos, whatever you want. Once you leave the beach, you put your clothes on, or you put a cover up on. And that has been a rule in Positano for many, many years. not always respected, but it is a rule here, so I think it's perfectly acceptable, and that's what that's about. So of course you can wear a bikini at the beach in Sorrento, just not walking around the main street when you're shopping or eating.
Ok, io devo far vedere questa cosa. Sono tutti qua a carezzare Indy. Ciao!
So that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next week.
Bye bye!
Bye!